What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another NBA 2K20 video. If you guys are looking for a premier shooting build, you have come to the right video. I guarantee you this build right here is a shooter. It's a shooter, and we're gonna get right into it. It's gonna be a very quick overlook of this build. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. Make sure you like and subscribe. The position is gonna be a center. It's gonna be a big man shooting build, and the question is gonna be center versus power forward. I personally think the center on this particular build is essential. I don't even think it's up for debate, and we're going to talk more about that here in just a second. So make sure you slap on center, pick whichever hand you want, whichever number you want, and then we're going to move right along. The skill breakdown, we're going to be using the all green pie chart here, and I know some of you guys are going to lose your mind because it doesn't have your precious big man contact dunks on it. If you guys look at my builds on my channel, none of the builds I use have these big man contact dunks, and I'm not worried about it. A lot of you guys say the build sucks because it doesn't have the big man contact dunks. The build doesn't suck just because it doesn't have that. All the builds I've used has allowed me to get a 96 win percentage on this game. The builds are effective at winning the game. But if you want to get a build with some flashy contact dunks so you can impress your friends and some 13-year-olds that you've never met with a fancy flashy animation that you equipped on your player, get you a build that has contact dunks. Enjoy your 62 win percentage. Get you one of those. If that's really what you want to do, if you want to be able to equip an animation to impress some little kids, go ahead. I'm here to win basketball games, and that's why I'm picking this skill breakdown right here. And if you guys want to win some basketball games, I suggest you grab this one right here. Moving onwards into the physical profile, I went with this one right here, this pie chart. I don't even know which one it is. The third one down. It maximizes strength, gives us some good speed. You don't have much vertical, but trust me, you don't need a ton of vertical. You don't, and I know I'm gonna get comments. I love when people make these kind of builds. I'm gonna horse up. And those are the same people that have a 42 win percentage and never get any rebounds. Rebounding, you'll be okay. If you're a good rebounder, you'll be okay. Trust me, I promise you, you'll be able to horse up regardless. You will be able to horse up regardless. Getting right into it, the very first thing we're gonna do is get our shooting right. This is a shooting build. Gotta make sure we take care of our shooting. We're gonna get just enough to penny pinch 28 shooting badges here. 30, you can get up to 30. If you max out your free throw, you can get 30. I personally think it's overkill. 28 might be overkill, but we're gonna penny pinch and get those 28. We don't need those extra couple points anyway. We will survive, I promise you. Playmaking, unfortunately, we're not even gonna touch. Playmaking is out of luck. Playmaking is out of luck. If you really want some playmaking, you can actually get like 5 badges on this thing pretty easily. So if you want some playmaking badges, it's not hard to get playmaking badges. If you want to give something else up, just do not give up any shooting or defense. I promise you, you do not want to give up any shooting or defense. Moving on to defense and rebounding. This is exactly why I said it's essential to make a center when you're making this build. You want the center version. Do not go with the power forward. The power forward maxes out at 7 badges defensively. This build can get 9. So we're going to max out every single thing on this build and get 9 defense badges, which is absolutely critical. And then if you really want to, you can penny pinch a couple off your lateral quickness or your perimeter defense. If you want to penny pinch a couple extra attributes, it's not going to give you any extra badges anywhere. So I personally did not do it. I just left my defense 100% maxed. And then the last thing, the rest of these attributes are going to go into our finishing shot. Close is going to get maxed out. We're going to max out our standing dunk, and then we're going to max out our post hook shot, because you're still going to be able to post up some small fellas down there. If you got a 6'3" guard on you, you can post them up and throw a hook shot up and over them. So this is actually the skill breakdown I'm utilizing with this build. So what it's going to maximize is essentially shooting. This is a great shooting center build. It's really a stretch big kind of a build, and it has pretty decent defense. You look at the numbers and it looks a little bit underwhelming, but it'll do just fine, I promise you. The numbers are very similar to my interior force build that I have, and the defense on that is fine. The only thing that's lower on this one for the most part is your offensive rebound and your interior defense. The interior defense, it's a little bit low, but we're going to make up with it with a couple of defense badges. And honestly, the paint defense on this game is, regardless of what build you use, pretty fucking shit anyway. So it's going to be terrible anyway. Don't worry, we're going to throw on Pogo Stick. You guys will see here shortly, and Pogo Stick is going to fix all of our troubles and all of our worries. The best game mode, I think, for this build would definitely be 2s, because it's going to be a make it take kind of a scenario on the 2s court. Yes, the defense is low, but I don't need my defense if you don't touch the ball. Look at the shooting attributes on this build. You can shoot lights out with this build. You have 28 shooting badges. You can go absolutely crazy with a build like this. And then on top of that, it has a 95 post fadeaway. That's ridiculous. You already know I'm going to be posting some people up with this build. Post fadeaways are definitely one of my favorite moves. Fadeaways, step backs, and hop shots. Those are my favorite moves to utilize on my big man. So we gonna go real crazy with this. So you have an inside game with this thing. You can play in the post. It's a great shooter. He has average defense. I'm not gonna say it's anything special. Average defense, average finishing, but shooting is really where this build stands out. So that's kind of the mindset when making this build of how I kind of wanted to set it up as far as what I wanted shooting wise, defense wise, and finishing wise. These extra finishing badges will be cool. We're not really gonna utilize them too much. And in all honesty, the inside scoring is okay. An 85 close shot is not terrible. A 77 post hook, you can hook shot with a 77 post hook. That's not too bad either. So you can do a little bit with these different badges right here and these attributes for finishing. So it's kind of versatile, but of course, again, like I said, it really stands out as far as the shooting. This is going to be the best shooting you can get on a big man, and you're really going to be able to line up some threes with this thing. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You can really shoot with this thing, and of course, to have that inside presence with the post fade. Moving onward, we're going to look at some of the different stuff on this build that makes this build this build. So the body shape, I'm personally going with Birdly. I don't really think it has any effect on your player, but Birdly looks the widest out of all of them, and I want to be able to set some screens, so Birdly is going to help me out there. Now the height I'm personally going with is 7 feet tall. If you want to go a little bit taller, you can get a little bit of extra interior defense if you want to, but you also lose some of your perimeter defense, you lose a lot of your speed, and a shit ton of your 3-point. So I personally do not really recommend doing that. Instead, I went with the 7-foot build, and I felt like it was a really good balance for me. 6'11", if you want to go 1 inch smaller, you do actually get 2 more points to your 3-point and mid-range. You get a little bit better on your perimeter defense, you get a little bit faster, but you also lose 1 to your interior defense. So if you want to lose this 1 inch, feel free. I personally kind of value that 1 inch. So I went with 7 feet tall. It's going to help out with rebounds. It's going to help out with defense a little bit. And I just didn't think it was worth losing that inch, mostly just for 2 to my 3-point shot. I think our 3-point shot will be fine without the 2. So 7 foot was a really perfect balance for me. Now the weight, I'm 100% maxing out my weight to maximize how much strength this build can have and the interior defense. So it's going to put us at a 79 interior defense, which is going to come into play after we get our +4 and +5 attributes at 99 and 99.9. That's going to put us around an 84-ish, 83, 84, which is a reasonable interior defense. It's nothing spectacular. It's not the defensive titan that you might have with some other builds like a glass lock, but it's going to make up for it on the offensive end of the basketball court for sure. And the wingspan, I went, I believe, 2 under maximum wingspan to get that extra 3-point shot that it gives you. So instead of 94.1, went with 92.1 because it's going to give me an 82 3-point shot instead of an 81. If you want to maximize that wingspan, feel free, but you're not really going to lose too much with that 2 inches. That's an inch off of each arm. I think you'll survive, and I think it's worth giving yourself a little bit extra 3-point shot and medium range shot just to make your player a bit better of a shooter. And that's pretty much rounds it up. The final thing on this build is going to be the takeover, of course. And I sat here and thought about this for quite some time. My options that I was really considering was either spot up shooter or rim protector. That was what I really had to juggle the decision. Post score, I didn't have much interest in using. It would have been cool because I know I'm going to use a lot of post fades with this build, and I think I can have a lot of fun with this build in the post. But I don't think I need the post score takeover to dominate with the fadeaways. So it was really between spot up shooter and rim protector. I eventually ended up choosing a rim protector. Not that spot up shooter is not a great option. It really truly is, because once you get this thing, you could just line up some threes from anywhere. But I went with rim protector with the mindset that I'm mostly going to use this build for the 2 score, and essentially probably just the 2 score. If I play threes, I'm probably going to use my glass lock. If I play ones, pro-am, rec center, whatever, I'll use my interior fours. And this is going to be specifically for the 2 score. This is the only time I use this other build. This is the only time I'll use this build is on the 2 score. Whereas my other builds, I might use them on the 2s, 3s, 1s. I'll mix it up. This one, though, it doesn't have much room for anything except the 2 score. So I wanted to go with the rim protector badge because in my mind, I'll start out on offense as we keep winning games. We have the ball first. It's make it, take it. I'll make a few threes for sure. Like, this is a great shooting build. You'll be able to make some threes. And I'll probably have my takeover before I even touch the defensive end of the ball. And then if I happen to lose it, I have rim protector takeover ready to go on standby as soon as we start defense. And that's going to make up for some of those defensive woes that this build has. Because even if I only have an 83 interior defense, with this rim protector badge active, nobody is scoring in that paint. I promise you, not a soul will score in the paint. So that's why I went with the rim protector takeover. And I personally felt like it was the best option just to kind of balance out that offense. This build already has phenomenal offense. I didn't really think it was necessary to increase it even more with this takeover. And I kind of balanced it out with a defensive takeover to help me out on the defensive end of the basketball. So Our build, what exactly is it going to look like? It's going to cost a stretch 5 compared to Miles Turner, Zdrunas, Ilgauskas, and Nikola Vucevic. Those are kind of fucked up. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This build is a lot better than any of those three's careers ended up turning out. So I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all Magic fans don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, but Vucevic is good. He's good, but this build is better. That's how I'm gonna put it out there for you guys. We're gonna take a look at the badges real quick. So we're gonna cut straight into the badges. Take a look at the badges I'm gonna use for this build. And that'll wrap things up for you guys. That'll wrap things up. So let's take a look at the different badges. Getting right into the finishing badges. First, we're going to be utilizing Back Down Punisher because, again, like I said, this build, you can post up with it. That 95 post fade is no joke. You can absolutely hit some people with some post moves down there with the post fade. So using gold Back Down Punisher is going to help us back down some players. Now, you're not going to want to post up, I would say, like any glass locks with this kind of a build because you don't really have enough strength to really back them down. But if you're playing against other smaller centers, you know, 7-foot centers, maybe an interior force or another stretch big or a 3-level score, or even against a guard, Back Down Punisher is really going to be a great option for you, and you're going to be able to back them down, and then you can utilize those post hooks, those post fadeaways that this build has access to. The other 2 points we're going to use on this finishing badges on this build is going to be for pro touch, not only to help us with our different layups in the paint, but also, again, those hook shots is going to help activate on the hook shots, which will help us against those smaller players when we do want to use a hook shot. Nothing too crazy going on with the finishing badges here. There's a few different options you can use with this if you really want to. If you want to use consistent finisher, that's not a bad option either. And there's honestly a few different good options you can use in here for your finishing badges, but you don't really have too many different opportunities only having 5 badge points. So you're not really going to rely on your finishing too much. So this is personally what I went with. Again, like I said, your finishing is not that great. So using Back Down Punisher, to me, that's not really quote unquote a finishing badge. I don't think it should be in here because it's not helping you finish. It just helps you get closer to the basket. So that honestly kind of helps us out with our post fade, which is in the shooting category. So it's a pretty good balance. I like to utilize that. So this is personally what I'm going to go with for the finishing badges. Now our shooting badge, these 28 shooting badges are ridiculous. You have so many badges in this category, and there's a lot that you can do with it. The main loadout I think I'm probably going to utilize is something like this. The must-have, something that will not change, is going to be Quick Draw Hall of Fame, Range Extender Hall of Fame, Hot Zone Hunter Hall of Fame, and Green Machine Hall of Fame. Those will be musts on this build at all times. Hot Start, I'm almost positive I'll use. The Hot Start badge is very, very good. I've recently been using it. Also, my teammate Ron has recently been using it. We both saw a video on it, and we tried it out, and we both really liking it. So I'll probably be using this badge. It's not 100% for sure. Most likely though, I'll be using the Hot Start badge. Super good badge, underrated for sure. And these other points you have a couple of different options. Catch and shoot, I'll probably end up using, but I personally don't know if catch and shoot even does a damn thing. Personally, I don't think I really notice a difference if I have it on or not, but I'll probably have it on this build. And then pick and popper, of course, I'll probably have on this build because I run a lot of pick and pops as a stretch big. Of course, on the 2's court, that's typically what you're gonna want to be able to do, is either pick and pop or just spot up and catch a pass off of a drive and kick or something like that. So that's really maximizing your 3-point opportunities. But again, of course, like I said, the fadeaway is still a viable option on this build. So something else you might want to consider instead of pick and popper is maybe throwing it on deep fades. Another thing I might do is maybe take off Hot Start, or maybe take off catch and shoot and throw it on deep fades. And then the last thing you could honestly do as well is maybe throw that on gold, throw this on gold, and then maybe throw something like either Green Machine or Hot Start on gold. And you could throw that on deep fades, get that thing gold. Instead of having all Hall of Fame, you get a whole extra badge in deep fades, kind of like this. So you have a lot of different options. Even if you're shooting in the corner all the time, another thing that you can do is maybe instead of pick and pop, or you can throw it on corner specialist. You really have a lot of different options here. You can lower this one, or I know corner specialist is good on silver, so maybe lower that one as well. And then you have 2 points. You can throw it on Deadeye if you want. You have a lot of options with this setup. And if you guys even want to go for 30 badges, if you feel like those extra 2 points would be useful for you, consider doing that too, because with a loadout like this, you could even throw your Deadeye on Hall of Fame right here. So gives you a lot of options. If you want to max out your free throws, you're going to lose a little bit of your like finishing badges and some of your finishing attributes. The main thing for me is I didn't want to lose those finishing attributes to get 2 extra shooting. So I feel like those finishing attributes are actually useful to have. It's not like I was just slapping them on there just to slap them on there somewhere. They're actually kind of useful in my opinion, and that's what I personally think. But that's essentially kind of how my different builds are going to look like, my badge loadout for this. Something along these lines. This is probably what I'll start off with because I'll mostly be shooting with this build. But in all honesty, I think going along, I'll probably take off pick and popper and go on deep fades. Pick and popper's cool. My only problem with it is, of course, first of all, you have to hit the screen, and that's the only time it activates. So if you hit a screen, then you get the pass and shoot it. A lot of times I might slip off to the mid or slip off to the corner 3 when I'm coming to set a screen, so pick and poppers are going to activate on that. catch and shoots off of like the inbound, it's not gonna activate on. Spot ups, it's not gonna activate on. So I feel like pick and popper kind of sucks that it's very situational and when you can actually use it. So I honestly might not use it. Who knows? Deep phase would be a great option, and I know a lot of people are very keen on Deadeye, but I personally don't think it's that necessary of a badge. A couple other good ones, Volume Shooter, Tyler Score, or Tyler Shooter, some decent ones, and Clutch Shooter is very good too, but again, kind of in the same situation as Pick and Popper. It's just too situational. I don't like to use badges that are super situational. They're not going to get use out of the whole game. Hot Start's kind of situational, but if you hit your first shot, it's on there until you miss. I mean, if you miss, that's on you. But if you don't miss, this badge is great. So that's what I'm using with the shooting badges. Went pretty in depth on the shooting, but of course, this is a shooting build, so I feel like it's kind of necessary to go in depth on the shooting badges. The playmaking badges I'm going to be using is quick first step. You only get one. You can have one bronze badge, so it's not really going to matter really wherever you put this thing. So I'd put it on either quick first step or probably unpluckable. And honestly, that's really it. Not too many other options. I'm just gonna go with quick first step to give me a little bit of a speed boost on the 3-point line. Maybe I pump fake, they get jumping, I can drive past them, or they're coming in for a late contest and I can just drive around them when they're trying to sprint out to me. I might be able to slide past them. So that's kind of why I have quick first step on. And then the defense badges, absolutely critical. We're on the 2's court. I would not vary from these too much. You have to have brick wall and you have to have rebound chaser. Essential on the 2's court, so make sure you have both of those on gold and you'll be set. And then the last one is kind of up to you. Really, the options I would consider choosing is the pogo stick or intimidator. I wouldn't really look at using anything other than those two, but in all honesty, I think you have to have pogo stick. This is truly, I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating, the best badge in the whole game for centers. Pogo stick is a must have. The way paint defense is, the best way to guard anything in the paint is to just jump up and down over and over and over again. And of course, that's exactly what you can do with pogo stick. So I highly recommend to you guys, use pogo stick. You will not go wrong with pogo stick. This is going to get you so many stops. Even with the low defense on this build, you're going to get a ton of stops with pogo stick. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. So throw that on. This is what I would use for my defensive rebounding badges if I was you. And that's what I'll be using personally. So that pretty much sums it up, rounds it all out for this build. If you guys want any more information on this build, maybe my different animations I'm going to use on it, anything of the sorts, let me know. I can update you guys on that. I don't know how interested you're going to see in more content from this build. So let me know down below in the comments if you're interested in seeing more from this build or not. Also, make sure you drop a like on the video. I'd appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, some of you guys will test out this build. And no, this does not mean I'm not using my interior force anymore. Doesn't mean I'm not going to use my glass lock. I just like to have a couple different builds, mix it up. Sometimes it gets boring doing the exact same stuff on the 2's court. I like some variety. So this one right here, it's a way better shooter than the others. Glass lock is the best defender. Interior force is the most versatile offensively. So they kind of do different things. So kind of the mood I'm in, I can kind of choose which build I want to go ahead and take to the 2's court. So that's kind of the mindset behind it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed sharing with you guys. Again, subscribe, drop a like. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.